Welcome to the Calyrex Game Corner's Pokemon D&D campaign, featuring Cindy, a young vagabond from the Hoenn region with pyromaniac tendencies, Gimli, a stocky, burly miner from Sinnoh looking for his lost son, Elodie, an enthusiastic foodie and baker from Kalos, and Schmidt, an enigmatic man from Johto with a duck. My name is Rich and I'm the Game Master, and this is Dunsparce and Drampa. Where last we left the Packo, they were barely holding themselves together in the depths of Granite Cave on the island town of Dewford. While searching for treasures and valuable gems to assist in their financial legal predicament, alongside current party companion Ruin Maniac Omari, the gang found themselves trapped under a collapsed ceiling after battling a family of Haxorus. Upon emerging from the rubble, battered and bruised, the party identified a steep cliff face approaching well over 50 feet in height, with two discernible tunnels dug horizontally into the earthen wall. The Packo peered briefly into the lower one, deciding it was not the tunnel they sought, and continued upwards even higher, where they encountered a tunnel with evidence of freshly dug sediment. They unfortunately triggered a net trap, flinging just Schmidt into the ceiling under the net, as a rugged man emerged from the shadows, alongside a formidably appearing rock-type Pokemon. What will the Packo do?
We were descending into the tunnel. Correct. That was our last move.
Last thing I did was, I'm guessing, is this like cartoony, like I'm in a net? Like the net is suspended from the ceiling, or I'm like pinned to the wall, like the net track just like flung me upwards into the ceiling.
Like there was loose net, and it tightened, and everyone jumped out of the way except for you, and it pulled you to the ceiling.
Okay.
I could burn the net.
Let's not. No. I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate the concern. We don't have to do that. Hey, buddy. You mind letting me down real quick?
Is this what you say to the strange man?
Yes.
He strikes a torch because it is fairly dark in the tunnel. And he peers around and he asks, Who are you?
Okay, I just said no to them lighting me on fire. I would appreciate if you don't light me on fire as well.
He holds the torch back a little bit and he continues to stare out. He is going to make a check. That is a good roll. This man looks at Gimli and he says, Dad?
Gimli?
You hear a clattering as he drops a pickaxe, and he rushes towards you, Gimli, his father. Do you go for a father-son embrace?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Do you want to roll for that?
Of course.
You get advantage, by the way.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'm great at hugs. Of course I get advantage.
There's no way I'm actually about to cry right now.
Character sheet that... or is this like a father-son
and I'm a good hugger? Yeah, it's in my sheet.
Yeah. What'd you get?
For sure.
Hug stat is 20, so...
Do I get any bonuses to my
to
my hug stat?
Yeah.
Is it Riz?
Yeah, it's like Riz and strength, probably.
We can't just have Riz and strength.
Yeah, why not?
That's 8? That's crazy.
Yeah, do it.
22.
Yeah, of course. And he gets a 21. How appropriate.
Oh my god. Best hug ever.
Yeah. For the first time in months, father and son have been reunited. Gimli and Gimli have met up in the Hoenn region in the depths of Granite Cave.
I was worried sick, my boy. You worried me and your mother sick.
He says,
Your father and us have been looking for you everywhere.
Keep in mind that Cindy is like proclaiming this as they are like embracing and is like, you had us worried.
What the heck were you? It's like
so
you are
a
little child.
Schmidt, did you have something
also, I look at Quacko and I'm like, they're not going to help us out of this net. So I would like to pull out my metal talon hand and try to rip through the netting myself.
Yeah, give me like a disadvantaged dexterity.
Dexterity, okay.
We're still at that, right? You haven't gotten a crit yet?
Nope. Goddamn. I rolled a 19, and then I rolled a 4.
Yep.
Fucking go.
It's a 7 total.
Such is the way of life. Schmidt, you feel for sure that your metallic fingers are in fact sharp like a bird's talons. And you could tell that it could cut through the rope, but you're struggling with like the connection of tendons from like your middle of your wrist that controls the retraction of your fingers. Like they're just kind of twitching and you can't really get the scraping kind of grip that you need to make it happen.
Okay. Can I have Quacko slash the net?
Sure. Is it a specific attack, or is he just slashing?
Maybe like have him jump up a little bit and then do like a 360 kind of slash that like cuts around the whole net and then everything falls back to the ground, you know?
Okay, yeah. He does that no problem. You can roll for fun if you want, but he is a skilled swordsman. He should be able to just clear the net for sure. This does mean that you fall 10 feet. Please roll 1d6.
That's fine. That is a 4.
Okay, you take 4 points of damage as you fall to the ground behind the party, startling Gimli and kind of interrupting their embrace as Gimli is saying, "Oh, you know, family's been so worried about you."
I love the whole visual of like they're having this father-son embrace. It's like, oh, the family's so worried about you. And then Cindy jumps in and is getting on to him. And then you just hear a thud in the background.
That is exactly what happens. I guess I should ask if Elodie has anything contribute to this tender moment.
She's actively crying, much like I am.
Okay. Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah. Gimli is startled a little bit, and he continues to hold his father, but he like pushes his face away so he can talk a little bit. And he says, "Dad, it's so good to see you. I hadn't heard from you or from Mom in such a long time. Where have you been? I've been trying to get a hold of you."
Have you? We were trying to find you.
Gimli kind of lets out a sigh, and he says, "Something's not right. We have something to talk about, but first, Dad, who are these people? Who are you with?"
This is the Quacko Packo. These are my companions.
Gimli's going to make a roll upon that information. He says, "Weirdly, that name is familiar to me. Were you guys on the news or something?"
Probably a few times, yeah.
Gimli nods his head and he says, "Huh. Glad you can still make friends, Dad." And he pats you on the shoulder a little bit. He moves over to help Schmidt get up if you have not already gotten up. Would you accept his hand to be raised off the ground?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, Gimli helps Schmidt get off the ground, and you can feel he is quite the strong man. As he pulls you up, you can see he is wearing dusty, tattered, like cargo pants. Seems like his pockets are full of all sorts of useful things. He's wearing a sturdy kind of leather jacket, again, very utility oriented. Got a dirty singlet on underneath. He's got a nice looking beard, nice and burly man. And the main difference between him and Gimli is he's much taller. He's actually taller than you, Schmidt. He's probably about 6'3". And you can see he's got his father in him. He doesn't have the gray beard, but he's got a nice humble beard. You get the impression that he's maybe your age, slightly younger.
So another homeless man.
Gimli's
6'3". He's tall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because his mom is tall. We can get into that later.
Tall, yeah.
Yeah.
Mom
So,
6'2".
yeah, exactly.
We can get into that later.
Yeah.
You know his mom's. Yeah, I'm 4'11".
Yeah. His mom
I love
is
that dynamic.
Yeah, it's important. That's true love. Gimli will help up Schmidt, and after he helps him up, he will hold out his hand and introduce himself. "I'm Gimli Lodestone. What's your name?"
Schmidt.
I'm Cindy.
Okay, yeah, Gimli.
I'm Elodie.
Yeah, Gimli will go around, introduce himself very politely, very formally to everyone. His handshake is very firm, and he has big hands. Big old, like, gravelly, not gravelly, but like there's rock sediment on his hands, like they're dusty, like he's been chiseling.
He has very rough hands, yeah.
Yeah. Calloused, that's the word I'm looking for. He has calloused hands.
Yeah,
he's a working man, you know? He's an adventurer.
That's my boy.
He's a stone worker. As Gimli introduces himself to everyone, he also introduces his partner, Rocco, the golem. A Cantonian golem. Some of you might be familiar with its appearance. Seems like a very formidable, strong, kind of tortoise golem-looking Pokemon. It's funny that golem is a golem, but you know what I'm trying to say. A stone elemental for sure, and it looks quite fearsome and powerful. He says, I know Granite Cave isn't particularly hospitable, but if we can go a little bit deeper in the tunnel, I got the rest of my party in there, and we can settle down, and I can make you some food."
Oh, that'd be lovely.
Sure.
After the journey we've had.
Can Omari come too? He's just a guy.
Yeah. Omari is standing like at the
in
end
there.
of the tunnel. Like after all the stuff that's happening, he's like trying to keep his distance. He's pretty shy. And Gimli will say, "Oh, I didn't even notice you back there. Come on, let's have some food." And Omari kind of, adjusts himself and walks forward cautiously. Do you all follow Gimli into the next chamber?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
The first thing you notice as you walk in is the faint glow of a fiery snail Pokemon. It is kind of laying down with its face on the ground, and bubbles are coming out of its skin, I suppose, if you could describe it that, but its body is made of magma. That is what is illuminating this room. Besides this Pokemon, which seems vaguely familiar, there are also 4 additional very powerful looking Pokemon. The next one that is clearly obvious, which the Magcargo's light is reflecting off of quite well, is a enormous, incredibly long, roughly Diana sized, but much heavier and bigger looking metallic snake Pokemon with spinning spires along its body that is kind of curled up in a corner of this large chamber that has been dug out by presumably Gimli. Additionally, there is a Pokemon that is floating in the air and eyeing you all very warily. It is one that you actually saw in Meteor Falls. This is, in fact, a Lunatone. There are 2 other Pokemon, and they seem to be having a discussion or a quarrel, perhaps. There is one rock raptor-looking Pokemon, much like a pterodactyl. It is also quite large and formidable, but it has not taken notice to you all yet, as it is locking eyes with a different Pokemon, a mollusk of some sort, that has a spiny reticulated shell and blue tentacles coming out of its face and its body area coming out of this nautilus. These 2 Pokemon are engaged in perhaps a conversation or a spar, as they have not turned their attention to you yet. It appears that the large metallic snake creature, Steelix, is sleeping. This appears to be Gimli's party. There is one more thing that you notice in this room, and that is if you turn to your right as you entered, and we will say from the north, so then that would be the east, there is a large, perhaps 20 by 20 foot mural, much in the same way that you saw on the first floor of the cavern. This seems to be the same style, similar artwork, but it is not visible to the public from that first floor. This seems to be an extension of it, a continuation of it. Gimli rummages through some bags that are in this room, and he pulls out like those little folding like camping chairs. They don't have a back. They're like kind of like little stools that you can kind of just squat on. I'm rolling a dice. He pulls out 4 of them. So it appears he does not have enough for everyone. He will kind of hand them out and say, here you go. Just kind of generally around the heat that Magcargo is making. And then he will just stand. And I guess with Omari and the 4 of you.
Cindy will sit on the ground and hand.
I was
Omari
like, I could just sit on the
Yeah,
ground.
I'll give
I'm
mine to
comfortable on the
Omari.
ground.
Okay, so we have
Omari
3.
gets all the chairs.
So we have 3 of you.
Let's just give Omari all the chairs.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
if they're gonna give it to Amari, then I'll give mine back to Jimmy. Like, you can sit there, and I'll just sit on the floor.
Dude's got a footrest. Dude's got a backrest.
Okay. Yeah, so this is great. Yeah, Omari isn't he's too tired and just generally exhausted to put much stock into the social situation, so he will not argue or ask questions about the mathematics of it, and he will simply sit on one of these little chairs. Gimli also pulls out a large pan and a bunch of ingredients and a kind of metallic metal frame that implants itself firmly and neatly around Magcargo's shell. It is like a built portable stove, and he begins preparing some ingredients. He pulls out some wooden cutting boards and he pulls out some cutlery. It seems like he's very well prepared for this. He gets to work and he looks around at the lot of you, and he looks at his father, Gimli, and he asks, well, I don't even know where to start. As he begins to chop the vegetables, he says, when did you come to Hoenn, Dad?
Well, I mean, when you stopped calling, we got worried. We couldn't get in touch with you, so I came to Hoenn to find you.
Gimli says, yeah, I knew that'd be a problem. I'm so sorry. As you know, I started adventuring as a trainer in Sinnoh, and it got to the point where I felt like I wanted more. I wanted to travel. I wanted to become a powerful trainer. And so he stops chopping for a moment, and he lifts up his jacket and he shows you a lapel. And within it are multiple shiny badges. In fact, there is a total of 18 of them.
Oh.
There are many, many badges on this man's jacket. Actually, Schmidt, you recognize for sure at least 8 of them from just what you know from the Hoenn region. And you see one of them particularly is your mother's badge. He kind of flashes those humbly, modestly, but also kind of trying to show his dad how far he's come. And clearly with the powerful Pokemon that are residing in this chamber, he has quite a number of battles under his belt. He turns back to his dad and says, I got a little carried away, and I met a champion, and he taught me a lot, and we did a lot of battling in Mount Silver, and I think you would really like it there, Dad. There's a lot of really cool rocks and minerals and these powerful rock type Pokemon. One time while Red was asleep, I had to defend everyone from a Tyranitar. It was really, really hard, but I did it, and I only had a few badges at that point. Well, I had 8 out of my 16, but it was tough, and Red, he taught me a lot, and he kind of cuts himself off there because he feels like he's getting carried away. And he says,
"No, I'm glad you're doing so well. Again, me and your mother, we were just worried, and I know you can be a little stubborn, get a little carried away with whatever you're doing, but again, we just worry. That's all. Especially with how dangerous the world can be, and I know you're a strong, growing boy, so you can handle it. But we always just want to know what's going on."
Gimli smiles. And he's, a little teary-eyed, and he says, I'm really sorry. As soon as I left Mount Silver, I wrote and I called, and I didn't know why I couldn't get a hold of you or Mom. And the fact that you're here, well, where's Mom?
Now that's the issue too. I couldn't get in touch with Mom, and we've been locked in this country. I mean, I got some badges too, just so we can try to leave, but they won't let you leave unless you have like 6 badges. So,
do you flash your badges?
Yeah,
to show them off.
Yeah.
5, compared to 18. Gimli is proud of you. You have a career and a family, and you've only gotten into training just recently, just months, and the fact that you've picked up 5 in a difficult situation, he's impressed. And he says, "Wow, that's great, Dad." He will ask, "So you haven't heard from Mom either then?"
No, and we haven't been able to really sit down and have another phone call because, you got swept up in things, we've got swept up in things, so it's been really hard to find time to even touch base. There's been a lot happening.
Gimli says, "Well, I've been trying to get a hold of her for over a month now, and I don't know what's going on." He says, "I haven't gotten a letter or anything. When was the last time that you spoke with her?" It's clear that Gimli is
really
worried.
Since I left, I tried to call. The only time I really had access to a phone, and that was the only time we could really touch base. And I sent her a letter, but I haven't gotten anything back.
You did get a letter. I'm just reminding you as a DM to a player, I think.
I did get a return letter?
Yes, you received it in Mauville via flying letter delivery.
Oh, so true.
Do you decide to show him the letter that you got?
Yeah. You're so right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Upon having this conversation, Gimli remembers and he rummages through his bag and finds the last.
I do see this now. Yeah, I found it.
Yeah, that he received from his wife Gemma. Will you show it to Gimli?
Yeah. It was like, this is the last thing I had from her. Yeah.
Okay. Gimli reads it, and again, he's a little emotional. He's taken a pause on the cooking as an oil and some spices and a couple vegetables are beginning to sizzle in the pot that is on the resting Macargo's back. He reads through it and he says, "This is really sweet, but something's not right. Is she?" And he just kind of stops his train of thought there as he stares at the letter because it's just not calculating for him. He says, "How many times have you read over this? There's got to be a secret meaning or something. There has to be a reason why she's not reaching out." And he's clearly getting a little frustrated.
"Well, my boy, we can't go back and see how she's doing until I came to find you first. I couldn't leave, and you obviously can. So we could go back and try to figure something out, but we're here right now. And your mother's strong. I know you're worried, but I know this woman, and I'm not. I think she's okay, and I hope she's okay, but I had more pressing matters. I had to find you. I don't know where you were. That's what we were worried about, and the reason why I'm here." And she knew that. So not to prioritize her over you, but I knew where she was until we lost touch. I didn't know where you were. So now that I know, we can try to figure out where she is. It'll be okay.
Gimli appreciates this and he accepts this answer, and he makes physical contact with you, and he holds on to you and he says, "Thanks, Dad. We'll figure this out together." And he continues back to the cooking. He puts the letter down, or he just gives it back to you, and he will continue working on the food.
We also met Red.
Oh, do you bring that up?
Sure.
Gimli's eyes get wide. He says, "Oh, wow, really? where did you see him? We had to split up for a few reasons, but man, he's such a powerful trainer. I've learned so much from him. I hope you learned a lot from him too.
I punched him in the nose.
I kind of want to make you roll for it, but I don't know what.
Charisma.
Yeah,
Maybe?
I want to know if like Jim Lee believes you or takes you seriously, or I don't know, or maybe
that's a nat one.
That's a nat one. Okay, yeah, he does not believe you at all. He sees this 15-year-old child and just laughs. He says, "Ha, that's funny. I would never be able to get a swing in on that guy. He's too quick." He says,
He tried to take something from me, and I got him.
Yeah, okay. Based on the previous roll, he still just like doesn't believe you at all. He continues cooking and he says, "Well, that's good to hear that he's doing all right. When was the last time that you saw Red?"
Right before we came to where are we, Duford?
Yes, you're in Duford.
Yeah, he told us we could find you here, or might be able to find you here.
He says, "Oh, so that was pretty recently. I've probably only been here for a week or a week and a half, so that's good. You guys made great timing. In fact, I was going to head out of here in the next day or two, but I had some work to do. So, besides badges, Dad, and the rest of the Packo, what have you been getting up to? I'm assuming you're all from Hoenn?
Only one of us actually is, which is shocking. We all seem to be in the same circumstance where we're kind of stuck here because we can't leave as just normal people. Couldn't leave the country with the state of the world and the way it's in with NRG running around.
We need a lot of money. How much money you got?
Yeah, we had a minor incident when we entered Duford. We made really good time.
Can I just regale him with the tales of of our adventures, like top to bottom, as a summary?
You can, but first I will have Elodie make a insight check on the conversation.
Okay. Got you.
Oh boy.
3.
Okay, that's fine. You don't notice anything particular about Jim Lee's reactions to anything as the discussion is happening. I have a feeling, just in this instance.
Make a sus check now?
If you want, yeah.
Is this general perception, or is there any way I can persuade this to be an investigation?
Investigation, it can't be because you don't know what you're looking for.
Okay.
You could do it perception or investigation. Either is or insight. I think both are appropriate.
That'd be a 15.
Okay. Yeah, you noticed that he didn't even hear your question regarding how much money he has because his eyes grew wide and he was a little taken aback when Gimli mentioned the state of the world in general was whatever, but when he mentioned NRG, Gimli was like, "Oh," and he kind of like locked in. He didn't interrupt or say anything, but he was like very focused at that moment. Gimli, do you wish to go into an actual regaling or do you want to do a summary version?
I think the summary version, like we tell about each individual tale, but it's similar to like when I was in the jail telling the story and kind of like getting all bombastic about it and like throwing my hands around and like.
Schmidt wants to be extra perceptive of his reaction every time energy is brought up now.
Okay.
During the regaling of this tale. Yeah.
Sure. I also want to ask the Packo if there are any key historic moments that they want to make sure that Gimli touches on or they want to personally reiterate during the retelling of the Packo's adventures.
The volcano.
Yeah, Cindy's proud of
that. Totally didn't start.
But you totally stopped.
Yeah.
The monster appearing in town, the volcano, the fighting Deoxys.
The boat portal shenanigans.
The boat portal, how we've gotten to jail. What else?
The Elodie Brandon lore.
Does Elodie want that?
I dug a hole and found
He's
an
so
ancient
into
egg.
that.
Like,
oh yeah.
I gotta tell him the parts that I was super excited about. It was like I got this egg and I caught this giant torkoal.
Do we tell him about Giant Metal Bird Guy?
We can tell him about Giant Metal Bird Guy. Yeah.
How does he react to that?
Just generally? It seems like, again, once Gimli started like telling the story, he's gone back to like just nodding and as he's making food. And he's clearly very keenly listening, but his disposition has kind of changed since the story had started being told. He was always going to be listening, but he's listening in kind of like a more focused kind of way. He's laughing at the funny moments, and he's shocked at certain things like the description of Deoxys and stuff. But he won't like particularly interrupt. He's just pleasantly listening.
And we left our wagon in New Marville.
Oh, the wagon!
And the cupcakes and Hoopa.
Yeah, the Hoopa cupcakes. Oh, that was the start of all this. The beginning.
Do we actually tell him about the stones and the plates?
I think that might come up when we talk about, like, I won't bring up the plates
Zoe.
specifically, but I'll talk about, like, encountering who's the family pet, like the Victory Bell.
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
Yeah, when we fought Pumpkin and how it overreacted to, like, this energy from this plate, and that comes up from that perspective, but I'm not talking about the plates directly otherwise.
Okay.
Or the Atlas Stone, I guess.
The Atlas Stone, yeah.
Right?
Okay. Do you mention Zoe at all?
We can.
Do you want to?
I might, like, gloss over, not like, and she gave me this, and she gave me that, but, like, yeah, we met a Zoroark. She wasn't shiny. She was just old. And then she died, you know.
You're just chiming in with little anecdotes like, oh!
All
like,
the catchphrases from the campaign.
Yeah, she's not. She's
Shiny.
just old.
She's just old. Great. During the storytelling, I want just D20 rolls from Elodie and Schmidt. And Cindy, why not?
Fabulous.
I crit.
Hell yeah.
Fabulous.
12.
Okay.
Haha. 1.
Great.
Worth it.
Balanced.
Elodie is still crying.
Yeah.
I'm like a mess. I'm like, that's so beautiful.
It's so sweet. Schmidt, you got a crit, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of Gimli's very powerful looking Pokemon has taken a liking to you. His fearsome, mighty, razor-toothed Aerodactyl is just kind of looking at you and like it's like leaning down and like staring at your face and just like kind of purr growling, if that makes sense. It's just hanging out. Cindy, you are gazing upon the heat and the warmth of the Magcargo, and you just can't get the feeling, like you can't shake the feeling that it just reminds you of Cookie. It's a fiery sluggy, you know, and you like that vibe. Elodie, you have like a horrifying fear that you are being watched very closely, and you don't know why.
Hooray. I love being here.
Do you want to?
Love Aerodactyl looks at Schmidt. He's like, "Oh yeah, fly boy. Look at this guy.
This guy's a flying guy.
This guy's a flying dude. I can tell, man."
Schmidt gives him like a pat on the nose or whatever,
Yeah.
but he is like eyeing down Gimli. He is staring at his reactions, trying to gauge like
Interesting.
whatever he can from it.
Okay, yeah. Gimli downloads this information. I think the first thing he says at the end of the tale would be, "Wow, Dad, and all of you, I didn't think you'd be so involved in all of this as you are. You've really been adventuring, Dad. I'm proud of you." When you met up with Red, what did you discuss?
We talked about what you guys were up to mostly, and how we kind of interact with it, because we're kind of on NRG's radar at this point because we've been really disruptive. So that's why he sent us down to find you, because we were working with him directly, trying to figure out and exchange information and not really work together, but like we have the same goal ultimately.
Gimli gives you a nod and he says, "I understand. You know, maybe this is more of a family affair than I thought, or, you know, maybe it was meant to be that the two of us were supposed to help each other out on this situation. But I'm sure, as Red told you, we left training because of, well, as you said, the state of the world. Things have been getting complicated, so to speak. I spent a lot of time in the Johto region. I have all 8 badges from Johto. And I met their people, and I talked to everyone, and it seems like the place is still recovering, pretty shaken up from the events that happened with Team Rocket about 15 or so years ago. And Red was very involved with that organization in the Kanto region, so when we heard that there was a resurgence and they were focusing on Hoenn, it got complicated. So that's when we decided to make our way over here, and he pulls up his jacket a little bit, and he flashes to you all with a spark of electricity, a crystalline yellow rectangular plate that he is holding in his jacket. And he slides it back in, and he says, "Red and I have been working together on a lot of things, and I think Red was he's not a man for words, but I think what he was trying to say is that we definitely need to be working together to, I don't want to be dramatic about this, but to maybe save the world."
Yeah, they're trying to blow up the moon or some shit.
Jim Lee says, I hadn't heard about that. Where did you hear that?
There was
One of
this
the
one
admin?
loser guy that we were making fun of that's threatened to blow up the moon, and I just told him that was stupid, and then he was like, he cried about it. It was pretty sad. But I think he was one of the NRG, like, top
Admin,
dogs.
Yeah.
We got confirmation later from like a grunt.
Yeah, we told a grunt that we had insider information and told him that they were trying to blow up the moon. He's like, how'd you know?
Yeah, so they might try to blow up the moon as like some backup plan, but I don't think that's the real goal.
Jim Lee starts thinking, and he is curious, and he's going to make a roll, actually. Yeah, he's not sure. He believes you, and he believes that energy would like want to move forward with a plan so like comically villainous, but he can't like piece together the intention, like what they're trying to do. He considers what he knows about NRG, and he will share what he knows with you all in the attempts to find understanding about the situation. He says, what Red and I have found out is that NRG is using these artifacts, and he gestures to the plate that he has in his jacket. He says, for some great ambition. They're trying to collect all of these items, and they're preparing some sort of grand plan. We haven't exactly figured out what it is. We're thinking maybe it's like the ultimate weapon akin to the history of the Kalos region. Maybe they're attempting some sort of chemical warfare or making a portal or mind control. We don't know. We haven't figured it out. But we do know that they're amassing a lot of power very quickly, and we have to do everything we can to try and stop them. He asks to all of you, he says, did you all hear about what happened in Viridian City?
No.
He says,
I heard that there was something that happened from Clementine Sawyer that had shut down the government, essentially, but
Jim Lee
no
nods.
details.
Yeah, Jim Lee nods his head. He says, yeah, that's about right. Kanto's trying to cover it up, but obviously they involved Red for advice because since he is former champion. What happened in Viridian City, we believe, was connected to the events that happened in Mauville City, as they occurred at the same time on different parts of the planet. Basically, Viridian City, someone had opened some sort of portal, or some device went off that basically involved the destruction of the entire town, which was very personal to Red since he comes from Pallet Town, which is just down the street. There was many casualties in Viridian City, and immediately following, there were reports in the Kanto region of a dangerous and unusual virus spreading throughout the region. And as you were right, Schmidt, the government more or less shut down, and in Johto as well, they're taking extreme precautions as the nations are right next to each other, and they're trying to avoid as much crossover as possible, but we're assuming it's only a matter of time. It reminds the leaders of Johto and Kanto of the occupation from Team Rocket about 15 or so years ago. And considering how the two regions are unable to contact outside of Kanto and Johto easily, everyone is concerned that Sinnoh would be next because they all share the same continent. Personally, politically, coming from myself, I don't think Sinnoh government is quite as worried as they should be. And that actually begs another question. Dad, when was the last time that you spoke with Cletus or anyone from OMA?
Not for a while. I mean, originally we were, like, Cletus was one of the people that got kidnapped from NRG in the initial struggle that we all met through.
At Lily Cove. The Lily Cove terrorist attack.
We've been really looking for him since then as well. In addition to looking for you, like, Cletus was also somebody that I was trying to keep an eye out for while we traveled. Asking around, talking to people.
My grandparents.
Yeah, we all have somebody that got lost in the struggle in some capacity.
Jim Lee slows down his cooking again a little bit, which, by the way, is starting to smell great. He is toasting some sort of, like, flatbread, and he has a delectable combination of, like, a saucy vegetable, kind of like a curry, perhaps, but, you know, more thick, less of, like, a stew. And there's various, like, meats and stuff in there, and it smells quite aromatic, and it smells quite good. It's going to be tasty, as you are sure. But he gathers this information regarding who's missing at Lily Cove, and he says, I just can't believe that this would be random. NRG might be chaotic and they might be destructive, but I just can't believe that these kidnappings and your grandparents, and after that story you told me, there's got to be a connection. And I think I would be terrified to think that maybe Mom is somehow situated in this as well.
You do got me thinking that now that I'm not tunnel visioned on you, finding you anymore, that You were frantically reading that letter. Were you on to? Is there something in there that maybe I missed? I don't know. I don't read into things too deep, but the fact that like you're piecing together things that I didn't even think about, like maybe there's something there and we could look through it again.
Gimli says, yeah, I just can't believe that Mom would just be quiet about all of this happening. And, you know, with both you and I gone, it just doesn't seem right. Yeah, why don't you pull out that letter again? Do you do so?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. It seems like someone has made a discovery of some sort. Would you like to read the letter, or would you like me to read the letter for context?
I can read it. That's
okay.
Fine.
Just read the letter out loud so everyone is on the same page with what it says.
Gimli, I'm so happy to have heard from you, my love. Amazing. What an unusual circumstance you find yourself in. My life without you has been lonely, of course, but otherwise it's been quiet here. Now, I know you're a tough man, and you'll get by just fine. Really, it's just ironic that this would happen to you. Gladly, you seem to have found some new friends, and may have even a chance to reconnect with some fellow miners who are stuck there with you. How is Trevor doing? Oh, Trevor is such good company. Separately, you two would be impossible. Together, I'm sure you can keep one another in good spirits. As annoying as that dumb rock can be, you sure seem to love him. Gimli, while it can be frustrating to be stuck somewhere, remember, it is somewhere totally new. Even in this region that is new to you, you may be able to learn more about what may have happened to our boy. Here's to hoping you can find your way back home. Everyone in town is worried about you, but we both know you'll be just fine. Lots of love. Penelope says hi too. Can't forget about her.
Gimli laughs as he remembers Penelope, his mom, Gemma's Dwebble, correct?
Yeah.
He doesn't look too far into it. This is, players, somewhat of a riddle, and as such, roles aren't really incorporated. I do believe someone has encountered an element of the riddle before anyone
would like
else.
to solve the puzzle.
Yeah, whoever.
Let them, because I'm stupid. I don't know what the
fuck.
fuck.
Okay. If you look at all the capital letters, they spell a secret message.
That's what I thought, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
My brain
it says I'm
energy hostage. Help.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Indeed.
Do you guys explain this to Gimli, who is clearly also not getting it? I would say, okay, based on the solving of the riddle, I think the person who identifies this is Elodie, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
For sure.
Okay. Do you want to just say that you explain it, or do you want to do some character? I will leave it up to you.
Well, it's like, can I see that letter?
Yeah, basically.
You notice that, like, there's not capital letters in the right spot?
Hold on a minute. This has a secret message.
What?
No. What? No, it would definitely be less dramatic than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. No, can I see the letter?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this doesn't look good, guys. I think your wife was trying to send you a message that she's being held hostage by NRG.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
How could I be so blind? He says that he read the letter 3 years ago and saw it, but couldn't do anything about it. What?
Well, not 3 years ago. Oh, you're saying literally
no,
in
it was
person.
Literally
Yeah,
3 years ago.
it was.
Yeah, it was 2020. I was reading it. I was like, oh yeah, I remember noticing this, but I was like, well, can't do anything about that.
Yeah. And then imagine it coming up 3 years later. Crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, in game time, it's been more like 3 weeks, but Gimli reviews it and he says, wow, you're right. I knew it. I knew something wasn't right. I knew she wouldn't just be quiet, but
I can't believe I was so blind. I was so focused on what we were doing here that I was like, oh, she didn't answer my call. I mean, she must be busy at the wrong time, and we just were on the road. I feel so stupid.
Gimli says, I have so many questions. I want to know what they are doing with her, what they need with her, and also how they decided that it would be appropriate for her to respond to a letter, and the fact that she got away with a secret message.
I just feel like we got this like so early on, and they were onto us that quickly to like go after my family.
Well, when did you send the letter?
Oh God, when did I send the letter? Do you get the history check that? It was a while ago. It was like very early on.
You could just say in context.
Yeah.
I guess you could roll a history check. You sent it in Fort Tree City. That is where you saw the mail service. So
that was super early on. That was like
day
right
2.
after we like,
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like quite literally day 2 of our adventure. Yeah.
Yeah. So Gimli absorbs this information. He says, and you also said that Cletus from the Orberg Mining Association was also kidnapped from Lily Cove?
Yeah.
There's got to be something going on with the Sinnoh mines.
it has nothing to do with us, but it's got to be something with the Sinnoh mines. It maybe became about us later, but
yeah, energy
it wasn't
does
at the
not like
beginning.
us. We have a
Well,
couple
did you
things
s-
that energy wants. Sorry.
I guess. Did you write anything in your letter? I guess we hadn't even encountered energy at that point.
Aside from
Right.
the terrorist attack at Lily Cove,
Right.
because that was day one.
Yeah, but you didn't know
Like,
the
we
name
were
of the...
aware of them.
The only
That's
lead you had on the name of the organization was the syringe that was in Toidle, but also I think you might have sent the letter before that.
Right. So I
So-
wouldn't have known energy at the time, even getting the letter back. but,
Pretty unlikely. You knew there was a group,
Yeah.
but you didn't know their name.
like what they were or anything. So like
Right.
at the time, I'd be reading this like, well, I'm glad she's happy. I'm okay. Like, like I wouldn't have thought anything of it. Anyway,
Jim Lee says, Red and I have been searching for something that would really help us get to the bottom of this mystery. We've only heard about it from, and he pulls out of his bag, like loose, old, like tanned papers. They look all stained. He says, there was an adventurer in the Sinnoh region from back before it was called Sinnoh. And they were documenting strange artifacts and their mysterious powers and the history of them. And that's actually what brings me to where we are right now, where I'm cooking you this meal. And he gestures to the mural that's behind him, this very detailed, intense depiction of something in a very artistic sense. And he says, I understand that there's an artifact that can identify the locations of these other powerful artifacts that are integral to whatever plot that energy is trying to implement. And that's been more or less the basis of my quest with Red. We have a lead that we feel like we know where one of them is in the desert region, the route 111 in the Hoenn region. I would imagine he probably mentioned it to you, correct?
I think that's where he said he was headed next, right? When we
he
were
wanted
there?
us to meet up with you, and he was headed that way, and then we would all rendezvous at that
There.
location.
Okay.
Jim Lee nods and he says, yeah, that's about right. I was about to leave here and go straight there, so I'm glad you got here in time. But if we found this artifact, I really think, one, it would help us know exactly how far energy has gotten with their plan and help us to identify the remaining artifacts, and then maybe, just maybe, we would have a chance.
All right, gang, do we pull out the artifact tablet that has the map thing on it, or
I really want to take his plate and VCR it into the Atlas Stone.
VCR.
Not
That's what
VCR it.
happens.
Yeah,
it goes
yeah.
in like a VHS tape.
It just kind of...
And aren't the plates about the same size
Yeah, they're all about the same size, yeah.
as a VHS tape?
Yeah.
Yes, go like, say, hey, can I see that? And they just pull out this fucking stone tablet and just insert it. It fits. That's crazy. Where does this
Never
one
done
go?
that
In the
before.
flare hole.
That's one of my
Would he be
favorite
mad
videos
if
on
we
the
did
internet.
that?
Where's-
Cindy,
where's-
well,
where's this
Gimli,
plate
do I have
going?
your
It's flare
permission
hole.
to do that? Be like, can I see that plate?
Oh, you're asking him for it?
Yeah.
Jim Lee, he considers you a child because you joked about punching Red, which in his heart of hearts knows would never happen. Jim Lee is like confident that you would never have done such a thing.
Well, you did.
And he says, "Oh, this," and he pulls out a sparky yellow plate. He says, have you all encountered anything like this on your adventures? I feel like what you were describing, pardon me if I'm overreaching here, but what you were describing in the Berry Master's basement kind of reminds me of this.
Yeah,
yeah.
we found two.
Yeah, we found two of them.
And
He-
we have a really nifty holder that holds them all.
Jim Lee is very surprised, but he has a look of perhaps admiration rather than competition in the sense that Red did. He is genuinely very curious. He says, "You have two of them. Well, that's twice as many as I have, and that's twice as many that NRG doesn't have. Which two have you found?"
Was grass and what was the other
Grass
one?
and fire from
Fire.
the
Fire,
volcano.
indeed.
Because Soli can use it to upgrade.
Right. True.
Do you tell Jim Lee that?
Are this the only two we picked up?
Yeah.
Damn.
I know.
Mhm.
It feels like so much more, right?
You're
Or like we
slacking,
only
guys.
had the alpha evolution of Ninetales. So
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I do want to put the plate in the Atlas Stone, and then I
Yeah.
could show him like
Goes in the
Soli
square
if he
hole,
lets
yeah.
me. If he lets me, yeah, the square goes in the square
you
hole.
put in the you just put the plate in the square hole.
Jim Lee asks, he says, Soul Eater, this is your Pokemon, Cindy.
Yes.
He says, you said that they underwent a transformation?
Yes.
Jim Lee nods, and he says, all right. So what Red and I have been doing is somewhat, we're trying a lock and key situation. We're still learning a lot about these artifacts, but we went through great lengths to acquire this one, through some cooperation, not so much cooperation, through Watson of the Hoenn region, the gym leader, helped us get in touch with this. And
he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Jim Lee says, I've caught electric types on my journey, and we've tried to replicate what we accomplished with Red and his Pikachu, and we can't seem to make it happen again. So we think that there's, again, a lock and key kind of mechanism, that there's really just only ever one Pokemon assigned to one of these artifacts at a time.
It seems to be like some kind of deep connection with its trainer. You have Red and its Pikachu, you have Soli and Cindy, like, seems to make sense.
Jim Lee nods and he says, I'm relieved, Dad, that you are traveling and steward of such incredible power. I think this is a very, very good thing. He's going to take some thought, and he will eventually nod, and he would say, Cindy, I would be delighted if you showed me your nifty holder.
I pull out the Atlas Stone.
Okay.
And I ask him if he would like to put his plate in the square hole.
Canonically asking about the square hole.
Yeah. Jim Lee looks at his dad.
Schmidt is also Schmidt tenses up, like he's ready for like battle position.
Okay. Aerodactyl notices this as well, by the way. Just observing. Jim Lee, looks at his dad and he says, yeah, I think this is why we found each other. And he slides over this yellow electrically charged plate to make contact with the Atlas Stone. And as it does, there's a glow, and it seems to just kind of like seamlessly slide itself into it. Then the light disappears, and the yellow plate has become one with the Atlas Stone. It is within it. And Jim Lee says, wow, I think what you have might be a lot more incredible than you think it is.
Oh, we know.
Jim Lee says, the adventurer from this log, I believe that their name was Casey. They wrote about such a thing, and they said that they were able to use it to find the locations of the other artifacts. Have you tried such a thing?
Yes.
And what have you found?
The dragon plate's all fucky.
Not the response I expected, to be honest.
But you know what? It's right.
It's true. Yeah, it's not wrong.
It's true, yeah.
Jim Lee says, that is fascinating. Have you perhaps made a list of all their locations?
Should we pull out Sam's journal?
Oh. Time for journal exploration, dude.
We could also have, like, I could ask Jim Lee, it's like, do you want one of your Pokemon to touch the Atlas Stone?
And Jim Lee says, yes, we had a theory that is how it functions. Is that how it shows you the locations of the plates? Is that how it works?
As far as we know, yes.
Jim Lee says, yes, would you mind? And he reaches to grab it gently. You can say yes or no.
Do we trust him? This is like this is the end of a tunnel.
Okay.
He can't run away.
Yeah, this is my son.
I was distracted. What are we approving of?
Letting Jim Lee take the Atlas Stone so he can have one of his Pokemon touch it to see the where it lights up.
Okay.
I mean, we're at the end of a tunnel. We could just block him in and take it back.
As long as it's not transforming,
I don't think we have anything that
we don't have the plates that cause any transformations.
I mean, we just
anything
put an electric
rock.
one in. Didn't you say he had an electric Pokemon?
He doesn't have any electric Pokemon on him.
What he said is that he has captured one. It's not on his party currently, but it has a unique reaction with Ash's Pikachu and none other Pokemon.
Which again, we determined that's why it's
not
part of
Ash.
Pokemon,
I said
but
Ash.
the
God
other
damn
one
it.
actually
Red's
reacts to it.
Pikachu. Not Ash's Pikachu.
Not Ash's Pikachu.
Yeah, Ash is not.
Ash is retired.
I think
Yeah,
we would have
retired
doubled
for so
down if
long.
it was we punched.
Yeah, you would punch Ash. Yeah, that's fine.
I would punch Ash.
Yeah, all of, you guys would just kick his
I'll-
ass like without Pokemon. You
Yeah,
just-
I would. I respect
Jump
Red.
him in the back alley and jump through the portal.
Sorry.
I will let him take it, but kind of, I guess, position myself where he can't run. Not that I think he'll run away with it, but
Schmidt is eyeing
it's
him
the end
down
of it.
at
It's
the ready.
the end of we're at the end of a tunnel.
And
The way
he's
he
given
has to go out is past us.
You should probably explain to him that the last time Red tried to steal it from us, so pardon me
it's
that we're the last time.
when I showed Red, he tried to take it from me, and I punched him in the nose.
as you explain this, Jim Lee says, "Oh, you weren't kidding." And
No, that happened.
No.
he thinks about it and he says,
Nah, big boy.
"Yeah, Red is notorious for perhaps not always thinking things through. So I apologize if my travel companion was rude. It seems like you perhaps talked him back into shape. Hopefully."
Yeah, he's not the best with communication.
Jim Lee says that's never been his strong suit. Not speaking tends to make the communication difficult. Espeon does a lot of work. Jim Lee...
But yeah, you can have one of your Pokemon touch it so you can see.
Okay. Jim Lee will receive it, and he will just kind of kneel in front of Cindy, so he's not, not standing or anything. And he takes a look at it, and he says, well, this is curious. This is... Sure, it's a map, but it seems... not accurate. Have you all had a moment to look at this? And he holds it.
Yeah,
and
it's old.
He says,
Yeah, from our understanding, it seems like it's from a time when this continent and in general was not the same shape.
Jim Lee nods and he says, "Oh, that would make sense. Actually, that wouldn't update because why would it? If it's a map, why would it change? Oh yeah, okay." And then he slowly stands up and he maneuvers over to Aerodactyl next to Schmidt. He kind of kneels down again and he holds it out. He says, "Hey, buddy, why don't you just touch this real quick?" Yeah, he will lay one of his little winged fingies on the
Winged fingies.
on the Atlas Stone, and it behaves in the way that you were all familiar with. There are 2 locations on the face of the stone that illuminate, and Jim Lee's eyes go wide. He says, "Wow, part of me was thinking this thing wasn't even real." And he looks back at the group and he says, "So none of you took notes on the locations of all of these, did you?"
Haha, no.
We've
We
been
did
having a
not.
time,
We didn't.
but Sam.
There may have
but
been
yeah,
someone
Sam did.
else.
Oh, did
We
we
do
tell
have-
about Sam?
I figured it would be in the recounting. I don't know
Yeah,
if we
but we
told
never
him
mentioned-
everything about the...
And
We
then
haven't gotten
Sam
the details about the book.
died, and then
Yeah, we would have talked about Sam
No,
along with these
Sam
stories.
died.
So
Mhm. So-
we didn't, but Sam did. And it's like,
He's
secretly behind our backs.
Jim Lee says, "That's a mysterious person. Whether or not they're still alive, I wonder what their intentions were with this information." Jim Lee says, "Well, if you don't have that, I think it's, in my opinion, you can say no, but I think while we eat, I think it's imperative that we take some time and find out where all these are for a couple reasons. One, if we find that many of them are in the same location, that probably means that energy has collected them. And 2, any that aren't in that location means that we still have a chance to get it from them before they can find it. Do you all agree with me?"
Makes sense.
do you have a map of the world that we can mark these on?
Jim Lee says, "Yeah, I have a couple maps. I don't have one for every region, but I do have Kanto, Johto, Sinnoh, and Hoenn." And he leaves the Atlas Stone under Aerodactyl's fingy and goes over to his bag, pulls out the maps, and pulls out a sheet of paper. And he also pulls out a bunch of little travel plates. They're not quite paper plates, but they're also not stone plates. There's some sort of in between where they're lightweight and cleanable. And he quickly notes down what he sees from Aerodactyl's interaction with the Atlas Stone. And right after he does that, he immediately serves some food for everyone, including Omari, who, again, is just kind of keeping to himself and not particularly participating in anything.
Has he had any reaction to our recounting of our entire story?
Yeah, he is clearly very fidgety and nervous. And he's perhaps
Adam Noah Schmidt, Adam, right to the top.
I know what this is going to lead to.
he feels like he is much more involved than he thought that this spelunking would be. He knew it'd be dangerous, but he didn't think he would become involved in such a grandiose plot.
Yeah, the whole world plot.
Yeah, he
He's
did.
yeah, let's go take a dog. And he's like,
Yeah.
what is happening?
Yeah, he did not sign up for this, but he can't just leave. He only has a trap and she was knocked out. So he's
Where's he gonna go? He has to follow us out.
yeah, exactly. He's kind of in a tough spot. Yeah, so Jim Lee serves you all food. It's great. You can all recover 60 hit points, probably.
Hell
As-
yeah. I'm
as
thick
people?
again.
As people. Yeah, people.
Okay.
So,
Pokemon.
no, there's not enough food for all your Mons.
quick.
At least
Cindy's
being-
back
Is
to
this just
full
recovering off the
health.
food, or is this considered like a short rest?
That's a great question. We haven't done like a single short rest, have we? Let's just. I don't want to mess with short rests. I haven't even thought about them. Let's just treat this as what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, 60 HP just for you guys. And Jim Lee, while he's munching, will begin writing his notebook. And he says, well, I guess we should get started. We have rock and flying, I would guess. I don't know which one is which, but... And he holds up the Atlas Stone, which is still like kind of slightly glowing. And he points and he says, well, they're both in Hoenn, which is great. He gestured...
We can cross-reference, too. Like, we have multiple
Like,
flying.
have another rock type touch it and see which one's the same.
Jim Lee nods and he says, yeah, it's a really great idea. If my theory is correct, it should be the same for every rock type. But we should always be checking. That's a great point.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Do you all also want to roleplay taking notes, but also actually take notes, perhaps? We have most types represented here.
Yeah, I was like, not that it matters, but like, does lasagna count as a psychic in this case?
You'll have to test it. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, okay, fair.
We have other psychics too.
I know, that's why I'm saying it doesn't actually matter, but also it kind of is interesting.
You also have to consider who is in your party and who is in the
That's
box.
this is based on my party.
Yeah.
Yes, same.
Is Incineroar another type or just fire?
Fire dark.
Dark fire. Okay.
I thought Incineroar was in the box though.
Yes, I know. I'm just
Okay.
making a note of which ones are also in the box.
Okay.
I think the only thing that we're missing that I would have is steel.
There is a
Which is-
Steelix in here.
yeah.
Steelix
Steel.
also steel.
Oh, Steelix is here. Okay.
Yep.
Do we have everything? I don't feel like doing the math.
It's what, 16 types? 18?
We don't. Oh, you have ice.
It is 18 types, yes.
Yeah, I
I
have my I have Littlefoot in the party, so
Okay.
Oh,
Littlefoot.
I forgot about Bean.
So
Bean is Ghost Rock, so
this might be a little tedious, but I do want to kind of confirm the Pokemon that we use to accomplish these types. And I would recommend you guys take notes. We will also review them verbally, but I would recommend you guys take notes on our discoveries. Granted that this is the mealtime activity that we are discovering the locations of everything.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's begin.
Opening group
Well,
notes.
we don't. We have the fire one, so we don't need it, and we have the plant one.
Well,
Correct.
do you still
Grass.
want to test them to
Grass.
see if it's accurate, or
I guess I'll have not solely test it because I don't want her to turn into
turn into a jet and bomb the Russians. Yeah,
no.
The missile is very EP.
yeah, I
it
understand.
is possible that, let me say, I guess you haven't tested that interaction quite enough. It would not happen on accident, if that is your concern.
Okay, she wouldn't just like, time to level up.
Oh, I touched it. It's time to.
Jim Lee's understanding of it is that it is an intentional phenomenon.
Okay.
So we will go one by one. Aerodactyl, its types cover two of the party's main types. So do you want to just start with that, or do you want to do your own for that so it's more special?
They said they're in the same place, right?
No, they're in
Not
different
the
places.
same place, but the
They
same
said they were both.
continent.
Oh,
They're
They're
both in
both in
Hoenn.
Hoenn.
Yes, that is correct.
Owns the whole country.
okay.
Yeah.
Can we kind of suss out like what area of Hoenn?
Yeah, absolutely. I can.
Also, can we have map keeper keep map?
Map keeper will keep map.
Awesome.
I have an idea. Actually, hold on.
We need the world map.
Yeah, I
Where's
think.
Sam's map?
Yeah, let me do exactly that. I will do it with the Atlas Stone, I think, as well. Just so that's more accurate, and you guys might have to do a little bit more work.
No.
So
More work.
here is the face of the Atlas Stone. You might recognize some of the continents. They are all a little jumbled, as has been the discussion. I will screen share for the fun of it, but also we'll be describing. So, is our question currently Aerodactyl's types? Is this what we're curious about?
Yes.
Okay.
Those are the two in question right now.
Okay. Let us make some identifications. You identify with Aerodactyl's colors that there's one dot that appears on the Atlas Stone roughly kind of in the middle of the Hoenn continent towards the west. And one additional one in the Southern Ocean, kind of just in the middle of the ocean. Those were the two types identified. Jim Lee, upon reviewing this, says, well, red might be right because I feel like one of these is right in the Route 111 desert. So if that's truly where we're going to go as a group, we might be lucky. The desert location one is only so free because red has like a hunch. I can't promise that all of them will be that granted, but I will do my best.
And are we sure that like north is north?
Not necessarily. If you looked at a map of Hoenn, you would see that the regional shape is kind of the same. However, like the inlet where Mount Pyre is like not there. And again, as Gimli learned when we tried text role playing, is that that's just kind of what happens to continents. Is that some bodies of water are perhaps missing, and the position of the islands are different as well. So interpreting the accuracy is kind of going to be up to.
You have to be like quite literal with the locations of them because this map is old.
Right. Well, who knows how the map's interpreting it too? You know.
It's probably determining it based on like actual like physical location and not like based on continent. So
yep.
It's like it's right here, and it's like yes, in terms of the world, this is the longitude and latitude of the location.
Yeah.
Changes in latitude, changes in attitude.
Exactly.
Hey,
same the episode.
And I live by that.
I want to offer that we go in an order. We could roll initiative, or we could just descend in what's in the call.
Yeah, we could do a send call. That's fine.
Okay.
By me.
In that case, Gimli, it is your turn to get some information. Which Pokemon do you want to touch the Atlas Stone?
Well, first I want to do a rock type. Probably not. Well, actually, we can just I'll start with just Trevor touching it so we can actually just pick out the rock.
Okay. You see a red dot appear right in the same spot where one of Aerodactyl's red dots appeared.
Okay, so the rock one is probably in the desert, if we assume that this is the desert. Which, based on location, it looks like it might be.
Okay.
So that means the ocean one is like either on an island, in the middle of the ocean, or at the sky pillar.
And that's the flying one.
Right.
Yep.
But that also means that's the flying one.
Okay.
That means I gotta go fuck around over there.
Yeah.
Good thing you just have a boat.
Means I gotta fuck around with
This is
Rayquaza.
notated.
Yes, this
Fuck
is
that guy.
notated.
Okay.
Okay, next.
Did you say fuck Rayquaza, the lore keeper?
Yeah.
I fucking
Yeah,
hate
gotta
that guy.
go.
Now, quick test for accuracy, since I'm just going in Pokemon order anyway. I'm going to have Turtle touch it to see if it identifies our location.
Okay. Yeah.
We would be at Dewford, but like modern day Dewford,
Yeah.
which would be fucking where?
So you see, as Turtle puts his... Do turtles have hooves? No, it's just feet. Puts its foot atop the
touches a
Atlas
gentle toesy onto it, like a real lady.
You see a little ways off this little land that is sticking off the Atlas Stone in the southwest corner. You see a red dot.
Okay. Okay, let's go down the line. Bean.
Well, no, sorry. I wanted to go one by one for each trainer, so they all kind of got a little fun.
Oh, I see. Okay, I thought we were doing it like
comprehensively. Yeah, it's more fun this way. I don't know. Is that
okay?
okay?
Then I'll stop with Turtle. Though.
Me, the DM, asking, is it okay? Ooh.
Ooh. You tell me what to do, dog.
Yeah.
I just work here.
Elodie, choose a Pokemon.
Let's start with Cabbage.
Cabbage. You find that the top portion of the Atlas Stone gets a red dot on it.
Oh God, it's in space.
Good Lord, the fuck does that mean?
For who?
For Cabbage.
For Fairy.
The alchemy. It's not like on the map like at all, really.
Yeah. Very interdimensional question mark.
Schmidt.
Well, I'll do kind of all of mine are flying, so they're going to confirm anyways. Well, let's do Quacko, so we can do flying just to cross-reference to see if that is the same, and then we can do normal.
Okay. You find on the eastern shore of Hoenn in the ocean a red dot, as well as on the southern ocean a red dot.
Mm-hmm.
These are the two locations that Quacko pulls up on the Atlas Stone. Cindy, you're next.
Larvastar.
Larvastar. You find
Bug.
Fire.
Fire, yes.
You find one dot in the southwestern corner near like a body of land that seems kind of connected to Hoenn, but not really. As well as in the Eastern Ocean.
Oh no.
That's weird.
Oh God, they're in the same spot.
Jim Lee takes note of this too. He says, not good, but we should continue. We need all the information we can get.
The fire's not in the same.
That's roughly, he meant to put in the
That's
same
what I
section.
meant.
You
Yeah,
just-
sorry.
Last time you did
Okay,
it
it was
just on the
just
outside
off
of it.
into the
Oh,
ocean.
Yeah, sorry. It's like in the ocean. It's like right there.
Okay.
Both of them are in the same location right near where I think Lily Cove would be. So
I think,
Or
there was an old...
Outside of Lily Cove, blimp vibes.
Well, there's an old Aqua hideout right outside of...
yeah, there's a Team Aqua
Lily
hideout
Cove,
there.
too.
Fuck.
I don't think Schmidt or Gimli would know that, but
Would
No,
Cindy
no,
know that?
metagaming that a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely metagaming that for
I
sure.
mean, I don't know if Cindy would know per se, but maybe I don't know. We could
You
Well,
roll
that
guys-
place
history
has been
later.
like ransacked, right? Like people would know about the Team Aquas.
guess.
You guys are welcome to make rolls if you want to like kind of triangulate with your brain as this continues. That is something that is roll appropriate to kind of.
isn't that where we started? Like, this whole stupid
You know-
Cindy
adventure?
has like a whole connection with
Yeah.
Aqua. So I'll
Without
roll.
making rolls, you guys know for
Right.
sure that both Bug and Normal pinged somewhere in the eastern shore / coast / ocean of the Hoenn region.
What's my history modifier? I did not roll well.
What are you rolling for? The knowledge of the Aqua hideout?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Um,
a 5.
You remember that when your parents were members of Team Aqua, they spent a lot of time in the ocean.
Okay. My parents know about the ocean.
Gimli nods. He says, "That's great." We're going back up to Gimli. You guys have
Okay.
tested normal, bug, flying, rock, and fairy.
Well, I have rock / other types, so I am gonna use bean.
Being the astral spooky
Yes,
larvitar.
the rock ghost type.
Yep. You find one pane in kind of the middle of the Hoenn continent, and you see something very mysterious. You notice that the underside of the Atlas Stone has ores emanating out from it,
Oh,
as well as they extend just very faint lines all over the Atlas Stone, and they all point to roughly the eastern ocean part of the Hoenn region.
Jesus.
They're
Is that the
all
same-
kind of like inconsistent and spotty, and they don't glow as brightly as any of the other types. They are like very faint, but they all gather
Ooh.
towards one location.
Out of character thought that energy was collecting ghost types.
Yeah.
So they maybe
They,
be
they
trying
have
to
to
make
harness
their
all
own.
the ghosts to make a plate,
Right.
probably.
Yeah.
Put one
Jeez.
back together.
Well, like, didn't we get that circle of like 16 types, and then ghost was one of the outside ones?
Ghost and Fairy, yeah.
Yeah, and
Huh.
fairy's like in a fucking other dimension.
Yeah,
in space.
fairy was. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
ghost is gathering to make one. It's probably an interdimensional thing that requires ghost to like open it up to get the plate.
That's fun.
Who's next in the order? I think it's Elodie.
Sure.
Right.
I will do bubblegum next.
Okay, that is a water fairy type. No, just water.
Just water. Yeah,
Just water. This one illuminates in the eastern ocean of the Hoenn region. However, it is slightly more north. Just a little bit.
So they might not have it yet.
Potentially.
Okay.
Because one might actually be the hideout. One might just be their blimp is kind of nearby.
Yeah, the other ones might have been near the hideout. This one might actually be inside it, like the fire one was.
Great. Schmidt.
So the only thing I have to test, and I'm sorry, Richie,
No, you're fine.
is the dragon one.
That's fine. Let's do this one. As it's similar to what you saw before, but maybe Jim Lee can give you some more insight. You see scattered all over the entire world a bunch of small little dots. Small, like much weaker than the other ones, but still noticeably there. Additionally, you see
it's broken.
a splattering of many dots in the eastern Hoenn Ocean.
Oh my god, it's in fragments. Son of a bitch.
Fun.
Like I said, it's all fun.
Yeah, that would make sense. And they've been gathering fragments, and they're all in that base that they gathered the other plates in.
Which dragon did you choose, by the way, Jessica? Patricia? Okay. Just for curiosity. Cindy is next, I believe.
I'm trying to think of who else I have. Because we have fire.
I think there's a couple types you guys don't have on you, or like even in your party in general.
Whenever we listed them all earlier, we only had 15.
Yeah, so you're going to be short some anyways.
Yeah. The only other ones I have are like the new ones would be poison and dark, but I don't have them on me.
Right.
I could nominate a Littlefoot.
Sure. If you want to nominate for Gimli, you're welcome to. So
Yes. fine.
Yeah, because I don't have anything.
Unique
I
at this
could-
point, yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
You see with consistency kind of central southern Hoenn, southwest.
That's where the rockwood is.
And you see on the eastern ocean additionally.
Lost another one.
What is it?
That's ice. In the same spot as the other ones.
Littlefoot the Amora.
Mm-hmm.
You have tested normal bug, water, ice, flying, rock, fairy, ghost, dragon, and fire.
We haven't tested steel.
That is correct. I could run through your remaining types. But whose turn is it? Gimli?
Probably have to nominate Steelix here.
Nominating Steelix?
Yeah.
You see one particularly bright dot in the Eastern Ocean.
Damn it, they have both of them?
Gimli is starting to look morose and more sad and more desperate.
The cool thing is that we know where they are.
Which plate did Red
down
have?
NRG's door?
Which plate did Red have?
Red had the electric one, which lock and key, as Gimli's describing. Red is carrying Pikachu, and Gimli has been carrying the electric plate.
Do you think they need both?
So they had 2 electric plates?
No, they thought that they needed Pikachu and the plate because of the way Pikachu reacted to the plate. But that's not probably
separated,
true.
so NRG couldn't get their hands on both of them.
Right.
Gotcha.
But they thought they needed both of them, and they don't, probably.
Gotcha. Okay.
Do you express this out loud?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gimli says, it's not determined. We're just doing it as a safety measure.
Right. It makes sense. You knew what the plates were when you reacted to them. Yeah.
It is Elodie's turn. Just for clarity, the types that have not been tested are fighting, poison, psychic, dark, grass, and electric.
Did we do ground?
We did ground with Steelix.
Steelix's ground. Yeah. That's why it was brighter than normal. They have both of them.
Silly. Okay, cool. I will do key lime then.
That gives you psychic and fairy?
Yes.
Excellent. You see the same pin as before on the upper non-land part of the Atlas Stone. Seems to be separated completely.
That's on the moon dog.
As
well,
well,
to get the fairy plate. Moon blasting it.
That's why they're trying to destroy it.
As well as in the eastern part of the Hoenn Ocean. Please give me a DC 17 perception check, Elodie.
Will do. I love doing that for you. Darn, I only got an 11.
Okay.
Darn.
We will move on. Also, sorry, that is good enough, not for the thing I was having you do, but it is good enough for you to notice that your feeling of being watched is because Lunatone has been like right at your back this whole time. Just staring at you.
The moon Pokemon wants you to know about the moon.
Hello? Dude, I'm taking that as a sign of yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Moving down the list, we're at Schmidt. The types that have not been tested are fighting, poison, dark, grass, and electric.
Sure. I'll bring out Richie and have Richie touch it.
Richie the Emolga touching the Atlas Stone. 2 lights pop up. One of them kind of on this little southwestern part of the Hoenn region. The same spot where fire lit up, as well as this is electric. Yeah, same spot where fire lit up.
Yeah.
And then the other one is kind of in the southern Hoenn Ocean, loosely out there.
Yeah, we already knew both that.
It's good to confirm. Gimli is happy with the confirmation as well. Please, no perception check for you. You can make one if you want.
If I have Omelet touch it and light up the fairy, can I make the perception check?
Not the one I have in mind.
Okay. I'll still just roll a perception for funsies anyways.
Yeah, please do.
12. Not much better.
12. That's fine. You do notice that, like, as you're handling this Atlas Stone and you're thinking about rectangles, and there's a lot of rectangles going on, you do see, like, in the corner of your eye, like, on the mural on the wall that hasn't been evaluated yet, you do see an illustration of 18 rectangles in a shape that perhaps might be worth addressing in the future.
Yeah.
Let us continue. Cindy. The types that have not been evaluated are fighting, poison, dark, and grass.
Are there any Pokemon that fit any of those?
That you have?
Yeah.
You put Jack away?
Yeah, Jack's in the box.
You guys might be done. I don't think you have any fighting.
No.
No?
Aubergine.
Aubergine is a dark type. That's correct.
Yeah.
Are we volunteering Aubergine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me it's in the Aquapan.
No.
In the eastern part of the Hoenn Ocean, you see a red dot.
God, we're so losing.
Cindy, give me a
Dude.
DC 17. No, I'll make it 16 perception check. We're
Dude, they just
decreasing
have a
by one.
global presence and a blimp. We had no shot.
My wisdom is +1. That's a 5.
Okay. You do not notice a thing. The remaining types are fighting, poison, and grass. Gimli's party consists of Golem, Omastar, Magcargo, Aerodactyl, Lunatone, and Steelix. So
We do not cover any of those.
I believe we are out of options unless we just want to run around in the cave and capture a Pokemon. So
Actually, we don't need to capture them. They just need to touch it.
that's true.
Hey, crazy Pokemon, can you guys touch this?
Are there any types that you just want to like redo or like reevaluate or take more notes on or anything?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay.
A lot of them were the same for my notes. Outside of Lilycove, Aquabase, like 4 though. That about how many times is that?
You counted 8 types identified themselves on the eastern ocean of the Hoenn region.
Yes.
Jimmy takes this information. He says, "You know, this is great actually, because now we have so much more information than we had before, and the fact that we have 3 of them with us, protected, all in the same place, is really good, I think." And he's clearly trying to convince himself that he's not scared in this moment.
See, what I'm concerned with is the fairy one.
Is
Is
that the moon?
It's gotta be the moon. Come on, guys.
They might be actually blowing up the moon, and now I feel silly for making fun of that skinny twink guy. Because they actually might do it.
Jim Lee says, "Well, I guess that's an option, but the first question is, how are they going to do it?"
The same way they blew up a city in a.
We have Pokemon.
That's true, but
I think
it's the
Pokemon can
moon.
blow up the moon.
You think so? The only thing I can think of in history that got even close was the Kalos Ultimate Weapon, and that's really more of a rumor than it is history.
I mean, we fought Deoxys, and I think Deoxys could blow up the moon.
True and real.
Like, if it wanted to. I mean, they clearly don't need all of them, right? Because how the fuck are you going to find all the dragon pieces?
They have to have some like way that they're doing it if they already have a lot
Right,
of
if they're already
them.
gathering them. That's what I would think. But, like, because I was like, man, the ghost and the fairy one must be the hardest. Someone destroyed the dragon plate. It just scattered it all over the world.
Also, a little side note. Remember when we let Big Metal Bird Guy touch the plate?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, so the steel plate is in NRG hands. So I think we can confirm Big Scary Metal Bird Guy is NRG.
Maybe, but he didn't get the
Dude.
flying one.
True. He didn't get the flying one.
And if he did
Yeah,
go
but
for the
the-
steel one, like, what if he was
He
trying to
did
race
get the
for it and he
flying
lost?
one, and that's where he lives.
I'm just saying, like, he just lives at the Sky Pillar.
I don't know. He's a big bird dude. You
He's
know.
lost. He's trying to find his way home.
Like what?
His
It's like
GPS
we
was
could be
working.
suspicious of Big Metal Man, but like, I don't know if that steel
Energy
plate
could
ended up
have
in their
had
hands.
it before him. Yeah.
Right.
like,
What if
they
he was
could have-
racing them and lost? Like, we're clearly fucking.
We weren't even racing them. We're just do along in our own merry way.
I mean,
Ew.
above table, we knew that they had the ice one, right?
Did we? I
We
didn't-
got
the
it.
ice one
We
for them,
got
yeah.
it.
Oh, no shot. Oh yeah, you're so right.
Yeah, we nailed that shit. We
Yeah.
knew.
You
Yeah,
guys
I forgot.
demonstrated
Update.
the efficiency of energy operations. You guys were in and out of there.
Yeah, I was
True.
reading I was
Actually-
reading freaking light novels. I don't know what's going on.
Technically, spoiler maybe, it's been a while. You guys got 2 plates there.
What?
What was the
Two
other one?
plates?
Yeah. You got a bonus
Fuck.
one that seemed very benign and like not
The
important.
thing that
Oh, was it
Oh,
the
Rada
normal
got
RCS plate?
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, it was a normal plate, right?
damn. We're so efficient. God, why are we so
Yeah.
efficient?
Next campaign we're playing bad guys for sure. Just too good at this shit.
Do you want to run anything by Jim Lee or like talk about anything? This is a lot of information. This is what many people would call this session as like a lore dump kind of.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to run by Jim Lee at this point in time?
I think we have game plan now, right?
Yeah.
We're going to the desert.
Sorry.
How far out did we say we were meeting Red time-wise at Moss Deep?
It's going to line up pretty perfectly within 2 or 3 days.
2 or 3 days.
We gotta get a move on.
We need to pay our debts before we can just dip.
So pay our debts. Hear me
We can
out.
poop a portal to Mauville
Portal the
or
boat,
desert
rental
again.
boat back. Portal back to the desert.
Mm,
Fast
yeah, we
travel,
gotta-
baby. Late game. Okay.
We
anyways.
gotta get moving.
We
The
don't
pay
fly
the
by
debt's
now.
a big
And
one.
We're not gonna have a time to fuck around with the Sky Pillar before we have to meet Red. I don't think.
No, there's no way.
Yeah.
But then how do we get your cool alpha transformation for a Farfetch'd?
Well, we'll just have
A
to
normal plate in the aqua base? Probably, actually. That's really it.
Yeah.
Gimli does ask, he says, what do you think is over there? Do you think they have a base on the east part
have
of
a
Hoenn in
blimp.
the water? Gimli says, I did hear about that. It was reported at Lily Cove as well as in Mauville, so that would make sense.
Right, they could be anywhere at any time.
And they
so-
have Mime Jr. in a big mech suit, you know.
One thing we can do, if they have the
I don't
plates
think
on
we
the
confirmed.
blimp and
Right,
they're
like, we can
moving,
They
track
had
them.
Mime Jr.
we can track them.
Like they don't know where we are, but we know where they are at all times.
Wait, we never fucking addressed that.
Cindy's
That's actually a
convinced it's
good
Mime
point.
Jr. in a mech suit.
The guy that like dropped y'all through a portal.
True.
Whatever.
I still have
haven't
questions about
addressed
that.
that.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
don't know
really
what that
focused
was.
Are you talking about
It's
at
fine.
like
We'll figure it
the
out.
Hoenn cycling road when you were in a...
Yeah. They're like,
Yeah.
just jump. And they're like, all right, shit.
And then we did, and then that was never resolved.
Yeah, who knows if it'll ever be resolved.
So true.
We have NRG uniforms, so we can sneak in.
Do we
I
still
don't-
have this?
Yeah, why not?
It's
3
still
of
in
you
my
do.
inventory.
Oh, I just had a thought. Do I want to help the party here?
Please.
That'd be cool.
Cindy, make
You
a
wanna
history
make
check.
a roll for us?
Cindy.
There we
Oh,
go.
oh,
Please.
oh,
The
oh.
last 2 rolls were 4.
DC 10. 10 or better.
Oh, that means this one's gonna be a good one.
Think how many more weeks of your life
Come
it's gonna
on.
add if you don't help us.
History. My history's only +1. That's 7.
Welp. Cindy has
Yeah.
like an inkling that maybe there's like one more thing she can do with the Atlas Stone, but it slips her mind.
I feel
Cindy.
like there's something else I can do here.
Maybe does it have to do?
We may
Is
never
Cindy
know.
a water type Pokemon?
Oh my God, Cindy, touch the stone.
Do you take their advice and do so, Cindy?
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god!
Nothing happens.
The garbage.
Rubbish.
Oh my god, you have a fucking
Trubbish.
trubbish.
Stinky guy.
The stinky
Can
guy.
I let him out?
You can let him out.
Stinky guy.
Let out the stinky guy. It's immediately stinky as Trubbish is reunited. Please
Oh,
make
not the king.
please make a DC 12 con save for Trubbish. Their modifier is +1.
That's a 9. I'm rolling like shit
Does he
today.
throw up?
He throws up immediately. Blah. Trubbish was in the Pokeball for so long, and he's so stressed. And now he's in a new cave. It's not nearly as hot.
Yeah, you let
Uh,
him out in one cave and then put him out in another cave and never let him out since.
Hey, buddy, can you touch this rock?
He's kind of standing in a puddle of his garbage vomit, and he looks at you with like pleading puppy eyes. And he gives like a little nod, and he goes to touch the Atlas Stone. What illuminates is a part in the eastern Hoenn Ocean.
Boo.
Boo.
Is he
Hiss.
just poison?
He's just poison.
Okay.
He's poison and stinky.
So energy
don't
has 9 plate.
Have you guys seen
There's
that
something
wrong?
that
happened
like,
adjacent
Pokemon
to
Emerald?
Lost City that it's like this is the stinky plate.
So, in review, I think you guys covered every type except for fighting and grass.
And we have the grass.
And we have grass. We know we have
We
grass.
can
so it's
assume the
fine.
location of grass, so it's really just
I
fighting.
have
So,
a fighting in the box.
so it has been
Check it
confirmed
later.
that 9 types, being normal, poison, ground, bug, steel, psychic, ice, dark, and maybe water, are all in the same location. But water,
Yeah, water's
seemed weird.
Interesting. It's not in the same spot.
you
so.
did not check fighting. You did not check grass. You are in possession of fire, grass, and electric. And it seems that flying, rock, fairy, ghost, and dragon are in some sort of unusual
Ooh.
circumstance. Those last 2, being ghost and dragon, are all kind of pointing to that same spot in the eastern Hoenn
So
Ocean.
above table, I think right now they're getting the water plate, and they're over it right now in their blimp. So like we're like live
Oh.
action watching them get the water plate out of the Team Aqua base.
Like they're nearby and they're sending a crew out to get it.
Right, they're
Like,
literally going to
local.
retrieve it, and the blimp is the location of all the other plates.
Fuck.
Yeah, like I said, we can confirm it by checking again, tracking them to see where they moved to.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
yeah, like what's up with that ghost type? You wanna talk about that? That they're all gathering, all the ghosts are gathering in a single location
Are you asking Jim Lee, or are you guys talking about it amongst yourselves?
amongst ourselves. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't there some fucky shit at Mount Pyre we were supposed to go check out?
Oh no,
It's,
yeah.
It's where Rotom
ghost
live?
guys.
Yeah.
Is that where Mount Pyre is?
Yeah.
Well, that's not where Mount Pyre is. I
That's
don't
not where
think,
Mount Pyre
but-
is, dude.
Am I getting my mountains mixed up?
Like that's
I
like
thought-
they're
but
they're
we
gathered
do-
in like the center of the ocean.
Right, but we do have unfinished ghost business in Mount Pyre, which is nearby.
There was an optional side quest that you dipped your toes in New Mauville that was connected to Mount Pyre.
With the Rotom. Yeah.
Correct.
And his ghost friends.
We were gonna look into that
Now-
when we were
Okay.
on our way there because we were gonna end up there eventually. So
I
I
don't-
will return Trubbish because he is stinky.
Okay. He was delighted to see the outside for a little bit, but he will gladly return to his Pokewall.
yeah, you should probably take him like outside. He's only seen caves.
I will. Maybe we'll find his owners.
It's still a little stinky, but it's
He sees the
dissipating.
sun
Screw
and
up
finally
everywhere.
evolves.
Yeah, he's just like, whoa, Garbodor. Like, what? He's like, holy crap, the sun. And it's like becomes stinkier.
Oh no.
Now, I don't mean to cast blame upon the potentially dead, but if we have the stone, then how does NRGU know where so many of these locations are?
I mean, I too don't want to cast blame on the air quotes dead. But yeah, it's definitely Symmetra's fault.
Yeah, like before it was like, oh, like they maybe happened to chance upon a few of them, but this is 9.
Where is
Like,
And the
what if-
fragments, dude.
where's Sam's notebook? Can we compare Sam's notebook notes to the map we have currently?
Absolutely. You're welcome to pull that out and take a look. What exactly are you evaluating?
they definitely look a lot more scattered out.
Which means they've been gathering them since we've been looking at them.
So it's definitely Sam's fault.
For sure.
Oh God.
Yeah, they're a heck of a lot more scattered before.
How many do you count?
Well, assuming we got the one at Mount Pyre, or sorry, not
Um,
Mount Pyre, Mount whatever the volcano.
Also note that they are colored differently. Can you deduce any information based on this? I will probably just read through it for people who listen. There's a modern map of Hoenn in Symmetra's notebook, and if you haven't joined the Discord server, you can find it there. It is also in the YouTube video. I think it's episode 47. No, that's Birthright. It's like 2 after, it's like 49 or something. The episode starts with like, you can go on YouTube and look at the Sam's notebook in real time. I will describe it. There is a light blue dot and a red dot in Dewford Town. There is a blue dot in Meteor Falls. There is a light blue dot at Mount Chimney. There is a blue dot in Route 111 in the desert. There's a red dot in Mauville City. There is a blue dot somewhere in the southern Hoenn Ocean. There is a red and a light blue dot in the south of the jungle outside of Mauville. What route is that? 116, I believe. There is a circle in black drawn around that route. That is south of Fortree. There's a red dot in Fortree City. There's a red dot on Mount Pyre. There's a red dot in Lily Cove City. There's a red dot on Sutopolis City. There's a red dot in Moss Deep City. And there's a yellow dot in Evergrande City. The only yellow dot.
So it looks like the light blue ones are the ones that we have, or at least we had while we were with Sam. And the normal blue ones line up with the ones that they still don't have, except for the one that looks like it's in Meteor Falls, which she potentially stole while we were there. Or it's the fighting one.
Or the dragon one.
Mm.
Or the dragon one. And it
Maybe
grows.
she stole
dragon
some dragon
fragment.
shit, yeah.
Maybe it was a dragon fragment or a couple dragon fragments.
Could be. And then I'm assuming the red ones were the ones that they targeted. And I don't know anything about
They
the
have
other one.
already.
Yeah, those are the ones they now have. But since they were there when this was marked,
Note
this
that
an
there's
old
also a
map?
total of 15 dots. And this is, it's old-timey style, but this is what Hoenn looks like in modern day. This is present Hoenn.
It makes me think that the flying plate isn't Sky Tower.
Yeah, Sky Pillar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we were saying.
Maybe it
Yeah,
is
you think Sky Tower.
just. I think that
Maybe
it's
it's
not,
somewhere.
though. I don't think it's far enough east.
it looks closer to Southern Island.
After sharing notes and with concern in Gimli's eyes, they sit around the Macargo stove fire that smells like delicious flatbread curry food and also Trubbish's vomit, and they consider their options for the future, and that is where we will end the session. Hello, and thank you so much for listening to the latest episode of Dunsparce and Drampa. I'd like to give an extra special thank you to our latest patron, Gold Roller. I'd like to take a moment to talk about 3 different projects that we have going on for the listeners, the first being the P.O. Box. We've already done an unboxing video on Patreon, and it's been a lot of fun so far. If you felt so inclined to just send us a letter, you might be featured on the Patreon, so check it out. Additionally, I'd like to plug our merch store. Melissa has been doing a wonderful job adding new designs, and we have all sorts of merch available for purchase, including t-shirts, hats, bumper stickers, patches, jackets, you name it. Last but not least, Grace has been running our TikTok page, which also translates to YouTube Shorts. Grace is such a funny video editor, and she always finds the best little moments in the show. All of these links are on the linktree, linktr.ee/Dunsparce. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you for the next session on February 13th. And,
Fuck, does Schmidt have a last name?
Schmidt, fuck. That's the weirdest last name I've ever heard.
You guys don't have to give last names. He's just making the connection that he is related to Gimli.
Wait, Schmidt, why don't you just summon Rayquaza to destroy the moon?
Shut the fuck up.
No. Summon Rayquaza to take you to the moon.
That's so fire.
Duh.
That's so funny.
What if you just had?
Oh no! No! Oh no!
Oh man!
I'm sorry, I had
Can't
to.
you
I
just
had to.
bring up your buddy Rayquaza?
I'm sorry. That's
Can't wait. Why don't we just take out the gun and shoot the moon?
Oh wait, we can shoot the moon.
um,
This is great. We're really brainstorming.
Gimli.
Have you guys seen that ROM of Pokemon Emerald that has like like 50 new types?
Oh yeah, like the too many types mod. Yeah.
Yeah, it has like Republican and like gun.
Republican
And like a little.
gun.
It has little and guy are 2 separate types. So
Yeah.
you can have
That's
a little
literally my
guy
two
as a
types.
dual type.
Yeah.
It's a dual type.